Yes, there's the camera over there. Okay. So, how is everybody? We are driving. You know that little movie. Oh, did I miss everything? Hello, this is Nancy today. Do you like my hat? Yes, I can see that it's invisible today. Only those with infinite wisdom and understanding and endless light can see my hat today. Beautiful flowers, don't you think? Of course, I won't tell you that I can't see it either. We'll just leave that. I hope this isn't too soft for you. Do I have to turn up the volume or anything? Well, whatever. So I had nothing to say except...
It reminds me of the Emperor's clothes.
Oh, you remember the Emperor's new clothes.
Right. Beautiful hat. Only the people with infinite wisdom and whatever else can see it, right?
Right. Well, and isn't that good that you've been able to see it?
Oh, yes.
He doesn't want to wear it, though. No, I've tried. I told him I was getting a new camera, and I have a hat for him. He hates my hats on his head. No way. Get that off of me. Anyway, he has his smooth leather hat. Isn't that amazing? We got a leather hat at a dollar store. I guess those days are behind us now. Pretty soon, anyway.
Is it real leather? I doubt it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it wasn't real leather. I forget about things like that.
But it looks good.
I just thought it was, of course, real leather because I can't make anything other than real leather, so it must be real leather. But then, of course, I forgot about that whole world out there that can do anything. They can even go to the moon. And that's not like a generalized, like mankind goes to the moon. It's just like people are so wealthy now that they can go to the moon if they want. Isn't that amazing that we have so much? We don't live in cardboard boxes. If you lived in a cardboard box, what would you be able to, how does where you live now compare to what it would be like if you lived in a cardboard box against the side of a factory? Just asking. Just think about that. And if you're ever depressed, think about that. And then you can look at everything that you have you wouldn't have room for or money for or anything. Is there anything else? Room for, money for, desire for? Anyway, if you lived in a cardboard box. So therefore, we all have very, very much to be thankful for. I bet the people that are in cardboard boxes, I imagine that trying to get a hold of cardboard is like gold for them. Like, there's probably no cardboard. If anybody finds a piece of cardboard, they move in. I wonder if people steal your cardboard. Anyway, it's interesting the value that things have, like in jail it's cigarettes or something. Everything has such a different value depending on your ability to possess it and your need for it. If you needed a place to live, would you look and try and find a piece of cardboard? Some larger pieces, perhaps a few refrigerators. You could put them all together and you might have a room. Strange that people actually live that way. People right now on this planet, just over the curve from us. You heard about this great big glacier that broke off? It's up in Greenland. I'm so fascinated by the North. I think the North is the unexplored, the frontier, and I just want to go there. To me, it's the wilderness that I haven't seen. I just really want to go. Anyway, one day. It's on my bucket list. Anyway, what was I saying about before that? That was how rich people are. They can go to the moon. The calving of the Arctic. So there was this glacier, and the town is named Innannaasuit. So Innasut. Is that how you would say it? It's Danish.
Sorry, what?
Innaasuit. How would you say that?
I'm not sure.
Is it Dutch?
I think it's probably one of those
It's
local
Danish.
languages.
Oh, it's a local. Yeah, it's a local. Anyway, so there's this huge glacier, and the glacier broke. 4 miles long. Part of it broke off, and I guess one scientist caught it on view, and every news media has the same picture or
And
same
it's
little video.
sitting against that village, right?
Yeah, and now it's is that the same one? Is that where it went?
Well,
Or is that a different one?
probably the same. Well, all I
Anyway,
heard,
so it's yeah, it must be the same one because it's in Greenland. That is sitting in front of the village, and it's also near the exit of a mouth of a river or something. So it could get in the way and block the river. But that's one of those fear scenarios. All the worst things that could happen. But you know, this thing is 4 miles wide, and instead of having like the front and the top exposed, now it's got the front and the back, the side, and the other side, the top exposed. And it's like this little floating mountain. And of course it's melting all over. And as it melts, it'll break. And that's the big deal with the polar bears, right? They can't hop from iceberg to iceberg. They're getting to be too small and too far apart, you know. Anyway, one day I'm going to go there and see it. But that's not the reason I'm talking about that. I was saying, now, first of all, this thing weighs billions of tons. It's in the billions of tons. It's 4 miles wide. It's 100 meters above, sticking out of the water. And that's the tip of an iceberg, right? A tip is like a tenth of what it really is. That's just what you can see. And so the tip of the iceberg is where the melting is going on, right? But now that it's in the ocean, it's also surrounded by warmer water than a frozen glacier it was beside before. But as this now melts, it's going to melt very much more quickly than the glacier itself would. And how much will that impact sea level? It's interesting that sea level is not constant everywhere on the planet. Like, well, maybe sea level must be constant. I mean, how can you have water that's got a hill in it? It doesn't happen. So, you know, like when this volcano is really moving fast. Have you noticed this volcano in Hawaii? There's U.S. Military News is the channel I go to on YouTube, and I watch what they've got, or the USGS. Everybody else is, you know, whatever, copying or replaying or something. But it's very interesting to watch this thing, because this volcano was on a little, I think it was on the side of a hill, a side of a slope, a little gentle slope, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Of course I'm wrong. But how wrong am I? But the point is, was I supposed to remember what the point was? What was I talking about? Volcano. Oh yes, it was on the side of a hill. And it was fissure number 8. Like, there's like 25 fissures that I've heard of. There's probably more. But there's this line that they have, and they're sort of all in a line. Well, number 8 was the one that spewed after the main Kilauea. And now it's been flowing for so long. It is, and so much. It is a 10-story high mountain. Out of nothing. Like, it just started. This is like it's creating mountains in front of our eyes. And now fissure number 22 is starting up. This is very interesting. I try and watch this every night. I try and find somewhere that's got the current conditions of it, and it's taking another path now. Did you know it's added 600 acres to Hawaii, and it's filled up an entire harbor, and it's given another mile of coastline. And you know, when they were showing the pictures of it flowing into the ocean and all the steam coming off, well, you know, what is it they call that, haze or something like that? And you couldn't see it. You just imagined it's, you know, probably it's all just flowing down in. Well, it wasn't. There's like these huge mountainous ridges that, like fingers that reach down into the ocean. Isn't that cool? Anyway, this is the formation. This is how the world was formed. It's amazing. And I was thinking about all these other volcanoes that are. You remember, like, if you go to out in the southwest, there's, or maybe it's Utah or somewhere. There's all these eroded volcanoes, and the only thing left is the core, right? So they look like little stumps everywhere of different sizes. It's very beautiful driving from Georgia west. I drove that route, and it's just so beautiful going through these, and the sunsets, the colors. It was just beautiful rock, beautiful thing. Anyway, so what was I saying? I'm getting sidetracked because we're going by Anchoret's house, and I'm going over there in a few minutes. I wanted to see what's going on, and the market's on. Anyway, I'm fascinated by this volcano, and I'm also fascinated by this iceberg, and I want to watch it. And I now know the name of the town, and I've seen other videos of it, but you know, they're only using one picture. But I suppose the news channels will send their anchormen up there pretty quick, and then we'll get more detail. And I mean, it's like a catastrophe waiting to happen. I don't know, maybe people aren't interested in Greenland. You know, maybe it's just too far away, and I don't think anybody lives there. This is a little fishing village of 150 people, and it's right beside them. It's like meters from their house, and all it needs is for one chunk of it to break off, and a tsunami will wash them all off the island. It's an island? Yeah, I'll have to look. Anyway, it'll be pretty bad. But just how much is sea level rising? I think it's very interesting to know. So how much will all this lava that's in the ocean in Hawaii now, plus this iceberg, well, that iceberg might not have taken up any more room. It was already this deep in the water, and now it's moved. But so later it will melt. But I was just, I'm wondering, how has that affected the sea level around the world? Is anybody measuring that? And it's different in different places. It's rising faster in some areas than in other areas. But how can that be if it's flat? I don't understand. The curve of the earth, the pull of the moon, the waves. I have no idea. But it gives us something to think about, doesn't it? And thinking is a lot of fun. Alrighty then. Well, looks like we're home. See you later.